up, boys? It's me. I'm not quite done giving advice yet. I am, you see, but a wise old sage here to spread my wealth of knowledge with the younger generation. Wow, that makes me sound really old. Anyway, when I came to university, I was originally from a BTEC background, and whilst I've certainly excelled in some areas, I've definitely struggled in others. But I have tried to improve myself upon these areas, but even so, it doesn't stop the struggle of having these areas that I've not previously experienced within an academic institution. Essays. But in all seriousness, coming to university from a BTEC background has been an interesting process. Thankfully, I was also doing media production in college, so coming to university and doing a media production course gave me a bit of an advantage in some areas because the courses lined up really well. However, that's not to say certain things haven't caught me out. Now, bear in mind, the advice I'm going to give in this video is pretty generalized, but there might be some things that are more specific to me and my media-based experience as opposed to someone who does something slightly different. I made jokes about the essays earlier, but honestly they can be a sizable stumbling block for BTEC students coming in. I know they were for me. For example, when I was at college, I didn't write any essays at all. In fact, I had little to no knowledge of creating an academic text when I came into university, and I've had to learn it from scratch. And that's not to say I'm actively good at them now. It's still a learning process for me, and I'm still trying to get good at that particular area. And I understand that for some, like me, it may take you a little bit longer just to get that experience. And that's fine and understandable if you struggle with them. But you need to make an effort to improve yourself, as these things are quite necessary for all your courses. I can't speak for every course because that would be literally impossible. But I find generally going to the tutors who run your theory modules is the best way to get experience and feedback and knowledge on how to write and structure academic essays. Your tutors should be there to help you, so if you just go to them and ask them what you want to know, they should give you a hand with that. Having come from practical courses such as BTECs, you might find that you actually have an advantage over some of your peers in your practical modules. This is one of the biggest advantages of coming from a BTEC background. Having that wealth of practical knowledge already inside of you to use at uni is a really nice thing to have when some people are really starting from the very, very bottom. This is one of the biggest pros of coming from a BTEC background. As you already have a wealth of practical experience under your belt, you can already get ahead and have an advantage over some of your peers, and maybe even explore deeper stuff than they might be doing because you already have certain experience with it. As university is quite structured around briefs, however, you might find that having a creative outlet can help you learn new stuff, acquire new skills, try things out, and all this stuff can be applied into your uni work. I personally like to make music with my friend, and whilst it doesn't necessarily fall in line with my course, it's something that I enjoy doing. It's opened up my new perspectives on music, and it's helped me acquire a new skill that perhaps I can use later in life. This is gonna sound weird, but guys, Guys, need to learn how to read. Now that's not an insult to you or anyone, but learning the most efficient and quick way to read and intake all the information that you are reading is a very useful skill in university, and it will save you a lot of time and headaches if you just learn how to do it early. Honestly, I've barely gotten my head around it myself, as I'm more of a practical learner and I learn by doing rather than learning by reading. And I'm not gonna lie to you, these texts can be hard to read sometimes, but you've got to push through and try your best to get going with it. Going through the required readings of your lectures can be a very helpful tool to get practice with reading, and can be a helpful tool to help you understand the lecture content that you're going to be going to in the future. And learning all of this early in university will really help you out in the long run. And honestly, the ability to pick and choose information and absorb information particularly quickly regarding what you need and what you don't need is a very useful skill in life in general. I know I might have said some fairly disparaging things in some parts of this video, but do understand you're not coming into this without any knowledge of your own. As BTEC students, you have a wealth of practical knowledge and experience that an A-level student probably won't have. You both excel in different areas, so why not offer to help each other? If you help an A-level student who perhaps isn't quite well up to scruff with their practical knowledge, they may be able to help you with some essay work and some academic knowledge. Who knows, you might even make a friend. As I mentioned previously, as BTEC students, you have a lot of knowledge under your belt, and coming to university, you might find you're covering something that you've already covered at a BTEC level, and that can be kind of frustrating. For these projects, I would argue that it's best to take a step forward rather than a step back, as getting into a lazy mindset will be bad for you, and trust me, you don't want that. Putting as much effort as you can into everything you do is a good habit to get into, and if you want to try something new, do it. Who knows, you might find something you never knew you had an affinity for. At the end of the day, university is about one thing: learning. Yes, getting your degree is important, but university itself is structured around learning, improving ourselves, and gaining new skills. The more open you are to learning new things, both practical and academic, the better of a time you'll have with university. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, you know what to do, and I will see you soon.